Find the prime factors of 75 and hence, which means using what you just worked out, solve the equation 5 to the power of x over 3 is equal to 5 to the power of 6 over 75. So we're going to find the prime factors of 75. So that's prime numbers that are factors of 75, and a factor is a number that divides evenly into another number. And using them, we're going to solve for x. We're going to try and figure out what x is in this equation. So we take the number 75 and we think of the lowest prime number that will divide evenly into it. So a prime number is a number that has only two factors, itself and 1. So the lowest prime number is 2. 2 will not divide into 75 evenly. So we go to the next prime number. And the next prime number is 3. So 75 divided by 3 leaves us with 25. And we repeat this process until we end up at 1. So 25 cannot be divided by 2. It cannot be divided by 3. And the next prime number after 2 and 3 is 5. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. And we go again. And 2 and 3 will not divide into 5. The lowest prime number that will divide into 5 is 5 itself. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now 1 is not a prime number. A prime number has two factors. 1 only has itself as a factor. So 3, 5 and 5 are the prime numbers that divide evenly into 75. So we write them out in a list with multiplication symbols in between. This is important. A lot of people get mixed up and put pluses, addition symbols in between. We multiply. And you can check if you're right by saying 3 times 5 is 15 and 15 times 5 is 75. So yes, these are indeed the prime factors of 75. Now we can simplify this a little bit because 5 times 5 is 5 squared. So 3 times 5 squared gives us 25. So we found the prime factors of 75, and now we're going to solve this equation, and we're going to use this to help us because the question used the word hence. And when we hear the word hence, it means using your first or your second answer to answer something else. So this is our answer from the first part of the question. We're going to use that to help us solve this, which means find x, get x on its own. So the first thing I'm going to do is write out the equation again down here. So I've literally just written it out. I haven't changed anything. In the next step, I'm going to swap 75 for 3 times 5 squared because we worked out that 75 is equal to 3 times 5 squared. And everything else stays the same. So 5 to the power of x over 3, I still have on the left of my equal sign. And on the right of the equal sign, I still have 5 to the power of 6 as the numerator of the fraction. So all that's changed is 75, which is the denominator of the fraction on the right, has become 3 times 5 squared. So since we have an algebraic fraction on the left of the equal sign, and we have a fraction on the right of the equal sign, and we want to solve for x, we can now cross multiply. So that means everything on the top left hand side will get multiplied by everything on the bottom right hand side, and everything on the top right hand side will get multiplied by everything on the bottom left hand side. So we're going to do 5 to the power of x multiplied by 3 by 5 squared equal to 5 to the power of 6 multiplied by 3. Or you could do it the other way around and have 5 to the power of 6 multiplied by 3 on the left of the equal sign, and then 5 to the power of x multiplied by 3 times 5 squared on the right. It doesn't matter which way you do it. So I've decided to go with 5 to the power of x multiplied by 3 times 5 squared, all on the left of the equal sign. Notice that I've gotten rid of my multiplication symbol and I'm now using brackets. So 5 to the power of x multiplied by 3 times 5 squared on the left of the equal sign. And then I have 3 times 5 to the power of 6 on the right of the equal sign. And it doesn't matter which way you put it. So it can be 3 times 5 to the power of 6, or you can have 5 to the power of 6 times 3. It does not matter which way you put it. Okay, so remember I'm trying to solve, I'm trying to find what this x value is equal to. So I want to get that x in its own. So the first thing I notice is I have 3 on the left of the equal sign and I have 3 on the right of the equal sign. So I can cancel out those 3's. On the left I'm left with 5 to the power of x times 5 squared, and on the right I'm left with 5 to the power of 6. So I have 5 to the power of x multiplied by 5 squared is equal to 5 to the power of 6. So ultimately what I want is 5 to the power of something on the left equal to 5 to the power of something on the right, so that I can cancel out the 5's and solve for x, get the x in its own. So 5 to the power of x times 5 squared, multiplying powers with the same base, we add the powers. So I get 5 to the power of x plus 2, and that's still equal to 5 to the power of x, 5 to the power of 6. Now I have 5 to the power of something on the left and 5 to the power of something on the right, so I can cancel out the 5's. So I can cancel the bases. And I'm going to bring down x plus 2 equal to 6. So x plus 2 is equal to 6, so solving for x, bringing the plus 2 over the equal sign, it becomes minus 2. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So x is equal to 4. If you want to check if you're right, you can sub in here the x is 4, so 5 to the power of 4 divided by 3. And that should be equal to 5 to the power of 6 over 75. So put that into your calculator, 5 to the power of x over 3. So that's going to be 5 to the power of 4 over 3, because remember we got x equal to 4. So putting it into the calculator, you get 625 over 3. And now put this into the calculator, 5 to the power of 6 over 75. And again, you'll get 625 over 3, which means that our answer, x is equal to 4, is correct.